Did you know that most people aren't confident in their ability to tell a captivating story? And if you've ever had to tell a story in front of a group of people, you might know that feeling, that moment of hesitation, wondering if anyone will actually care about the words coming out of your mouth. That's completely normal. Public speaking is one of the most common fears, ranking higher than death, spiders, and heights. But I think part of that fear comes from not knowing how to tell a great story. It doesn't matter whether it's a fairy tale, a novel, a marketing presentation, or even some social media post. Great storytelling follows the same core principles. So today I'm going to break down the building blocks of storytelling. Whether you're informing, educating, or entertaining, you'll have a clear structure to keep your audience engaged from start to finish. Let's get into it. So the first thing you need to know is a satisfying story needs a strong beginning. The beginning sets the scene. It's introducing the characters and establishes how things were before anything changed. It really is giving the audience the context they need to understand the world of the story before things start to shift. The middle is where everything happens. This is where the change kicks in, conflicts arise, challenges unfold, and the story develops. It's all about showing the impact of those changes and how the characters or situations react. The end brings everything together. It wraps up the story, resolves any conflicts, and leaves the audience with a clear takeaway. Think about a simple story like this one on screen, an apple turning into an apple pie. These pictures could tell that story. And that's why this technique works so well on carousel posts on social media. But great storytelling goes way beyond just having a beginning, middle, and an end. There's depth, nuance, and technique that's really behind crafting stories that truly engage the audience. Beneath the surface of every great story are three key elements: theme, character, and plot. They aren't separate pieces, they are deeply connected, each shaping and strengthening the others. A story without a strong theme feels somewhat hollow, and a plot without compelling characters tends to fall flat. And characters without a clear journey, they really lack impact. So let's break down why these three elements are essential and how they work together to create a truly engaging story. If a story only focuses on character and plot, it ends up lacking the glue that holds everything together. Without theme, characters and events might feel disconnected. Things happen, but there's no deeper meaning driving them forward. Theme is what gives a story purpose. It's the underlying idea, lesson, or perspective that unfolds through the character's internal journey in the external plot. It's really what makes the story resonate long after it's been told. If a story only focused on character and theme, then there'd be no external journey to bring those ideas to life. Without plot, characters would just exist without taking action. No events, no momentum, nothing to keep the audience engaged. And if nothing happens, people are going to leave, right? The message gets lost because there's nothing driving it forward. And that's why plot is essential. It turns ideas into action, making the story compelling and meaningful. And if a story only focused on plot and theme, then there'd be no characters to connect with. No one for the audience to relate to or care about. Without characters, there are no emotional anchors, no internal journey, no personal stakes. And when people don't see themselves in a story, the message doesn't stick. And that's why characters are essential. They bring meaning to the plot and they make the theme resonate. For any story to be successful, whether it's a 30-second ad spot, an Instagram post, or a full-length movie, it needs all three elements: theme, character, and plot. Each one supports the others, crafting a story that feels meaningful and engaging and complete. So to sum it up, here's a quote from author K.M. Weiland. She puts it this way: theme creates character, which in turn creates plot, which brings the circle all the way around, and in turn generates theme, which creates character, which creates plot, which creates ad infinitum. In other words, these three elements are inseparable. They constantly build on each other, shaping the depth and impact of any story. So if you want to tell stories that truly resonate with your audience, understanding and mastering all three is essential. So let's talk about theme, the foundation for any great story. Without a strong theme, a story can feel scattered, like a bunch of random events that don't really add up to anything. Theme is what gives a story depth, meaning, and purpose. It's the message, the big idea, the takeaway that sticks with the audience long after the story ends. And whether you realize it or not, theme is everywhere. It's in movies, social media posts, even branding and marketing campaigns. It's the reason some stories feel powerful and unforgettable, while others are easily forgotten. So let's break down and see why theme is the glue that holds everything together. K.M. Weiland basically described theme perfectly, stating that theme is a unifying idea or subject explored via reoccurring patterns and expanded through comparisons and contrasts. And I couldn't agree more. You can kind of think of theme as an invisible thread that ties everything together. It's what gives a story meaning beyond just what happens on the surface. Without it, a story can feel hollow, just a sequence of events with no real impact. By weaving in patterns, contrasts, and deeper ideas, themes make a story resonate. It turns simple moments into something more, something that sticks with the audience long after they've heard the story. Theme isn't just something that exists in the background either. It's really should be woven into every part of a story. Characters bring theme to life through their thoughts, choices, and actions. The setting can reinforce it, acting as a symbolic backdrop that deepens the narrative. Dialogue reveals theme directly through what characters say and what's said to them. And then there's the plot, the sum of all the experiences and challenges that characters face, shaping and reinforcing the theme as the story unfolds. And let's not forget motifs and symbols. Those recurring elements, they add layers of meaning, and that makes the theme even more powerful. The best stories don't rely on just one of these elements. They blend them seamlessly, making the theme feel natural and compelling. In simpler stories, the theme is often clear, straightforward message, something like don't judge a book by its cover. Take Toy Story, for example. At first, Woody sees Buzz as nothing more than a flashy, clueless space toy. But as the story unfolds, Woody realizes Buzz has depth, value, and even leadership qualities he didn't expect. That journey perfectly reinforces the theme. Instead of just telling the audience the messages outright, the movie shows it through character development and conflict, and that's what makes it stick. In more complex stories, the theme goes beyond a simple moral lesson and instead explores deeper questions about society, identity, or human nature. Think of 1984 by George Orwell. It doesn't just tell a story, it challenges readers to consider the dangers of totalitarianism, surveillance, and the loss of individuality. The theme isn't spelled out, instead it's woven into the characters' struggles and the world that they inhabit. And these kind of themes don't always provide clear answers. Instead, they make the audience think, question, and interpret the messages for themselves. And that's what makes them powerful. In nonfiction, theme is typically more direct. It's the core idea of a subject being explored. Unlike fiction, where themes often emerge through character arcs and symbolism, nonfiction themes revolve around facts, insights, and real-world knowledge. History books will focus on past events and their impact. Biographies and memoirs are going to explore personal experiences, giving readers a deeper understanding of an individual's journey. If it's travel writing, that's going to immerse audience in destinations and cultures. If it's academic texts, they're going to dive into specialized subjects, while philosophical works are going to tackle fundamental questions about existence and meaning. Or you could take journalism. It informs and sparks discussion on current events, and self-help books will offer guidance on personal growth and practical skills. So even in nonfiction, theme provides structure and purpose. It's really what keeps the content meaningful and engaging. So think about your favorite movie or book or even a commercial that stuck with you. Chances are it wasn't just the product or plot that made it memorable. It was really probably a more deeper theme behind all of it. Now imagine using that same emotional connection in marketing. The most successful brands tap into these universal themes to create stories that people connect with on a personal level. So let's take a closer look at these kind of 6 common themes and how they shape stories we love and the ones that sell. Good versus evil is one of the most powerful and recognizable storytelling themes. It taps into our natural sense of justice, morality, making it incredibly effective in fiction, media, and even branding. So whether it's a battle between heroes and villains, an internal moral struggle, or a clash of ideologies, this theme makes stories engaging by showing the stakes and consequences of choices. Think of Harry Potter's fight against Voldemort. Not just a physical battle, but a constant test of Harry's values. Or Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, standing up for justice despite overwhelming opposition. In modern media, the Marvel Cinematic Universe plays on this theme with superheroes fighting evil forces. In Game of Thrones, it also takes a more complex approach, showing how good and evil aren't always black and white. Even video games, like The Last of Us Part 2, explore this theme in deeply emotional ways, forcing players to question morality in a world with no easy choices. And in marketing, Apple has built its brand around the idea of rebellion against an oppressive system, the individual versus the corporate machine. Their advertising has repeatedly leaned into this kind of theme, positioning Apple as the tool of creative freedom against conformity. A great example of this is one of their most famous commercials.